Father Time has spoken. Well, welcome to the great backyard outdoors. I wanted to show you guys how I pack everything for the Sierras. And we'll go through everything. I'll pull stuff out of the pack and show you the logical way that I thought everything worked. And it worked great. So here we go. All right, so there's my medallion that we carried the whole 750 miles. And here's the pack. And now to go through everything, first of all, if you were going to take a break on the trail and you want to sit down and you want to be soft on your ass, you just come right here and grab your sit pad. Comes right out, look at that. Put it on the rock and sit right on it, nice and soft. You're all done, put it away. Boom. So my goal was mostly not to take my pack off unless I needed to gather water or I was taking a break, which I would only take one a day. So if I stopped to have a drink of water, catch my breath, snack, I didn't take my pack off. I would take it off if I had to gather water or if Mother Nature called. So you want both of those kits to be readily available. So let's say we had to gather water, took the pack off, and it's very easy to get to. You grab the orange one to gather water. So pull out the orange one, and you got your whole kit here with the filter, and I have a little hose. And we'll dump that out and show you. It's not much in here, but it's just nice to have it all in one place. So you got your bottle. It's not a bottle. You got your bag, and that's what you collect the water with. That's always dirty water. So you run your filter, which connects right there, and then you've got your clean water. I like to put this on the end right here, and it gives me a little leader that would go into the neck of the bottle and just kind of help me squeeze the water into that bottle without it going all over the place. So that would be that. Gather your water, get back on the trail. Get all done, put the orange bag right back where it was, and you're done. Now, Mother Nature calls. You really don't want to be taking your pack apart to find your poop kit. So that's in the gray bag. And boom, you grab that and you go, you hide over there behind that tree. You bring your bag with you, you do your business, you're all done, you can put your bag back. The only other things I really kept out here, my shaker cup, because it didn't fit in the pack real well. I had a protein shake every morning. I could use this to drink hot coffee out of. Don't really want to tell you this, but I will. I kept this in my tent at night, and instead of getting out of the tent to take a pee, which would happen at least twice a night, I would go in here, in the tent, seal it back up in the morning, go dump it out in an appropriate place, and rinse it out. And after I rinse it out, I would make my protein shake. So that's gross, but it was kind of necessary. The other things I keep in the outside pouch is my cook kit. So that's my cook pot, and inside the cook pot, I kept a nice little rag so the stove didn't rub against the propane isobutane container. Had my lighter in there. You got the propane, isobutane, I'm sorry, and a scrub pad in case I did a ramen bomb in here. Then I like to clean it out real good. It also makes a nice cushion for the isobutane canister, so it wasn't metal on metal. And then the stove's in here. Put the lighter back in. Anyway, I kept that in the outside pouch for the same reason as the shaker cup. It didn't fit in the pack with the rest of my packing cubes, and it was just an odd shape. It was a good place to keep it, so I just kept it in the outside pouch. It wasn't something I needed to get to during the day, but that's where it was. Then I also kept, from the High Sierras, gloves in case it got cold, which I was pretty lucky. It never really did, but if it did, I could quickly access the gloves, keep my hands warm. I also kept my marijuana kit in here. If I wanted to have a nice lunch high, I'd pull this out, a little glass pipe in there and some buds. So that's what's all on the outside. You also had your water bottle storage on both sides, of course. And on this side, which is where the straps are, you've got the InReach Mini 2, so you can text the wife and she can text you. And they can also track my location and follow me throughout the day and see how I'm doing. And then I keep 2 drink bottles here. I put this sparkling ice in here just for demonstration, but it would just be another water bottle throughout the day. And then the 2 hip pouches. On the right, I always kept my snacks for the day, which I say snacks, but that was my lunch. So I would have a bobo, I would have a meat and cheese stick, I would have a protein bar, Lifesavers. In the left pouch, I kept my blister, first aid. So really didn't get into this pouch very often, if at all, but you're always getting into the snacks. Then also on the outside, get to camp, you just pull this sit pad out, and maybe you're going to sit on it. Then you pop this buckle, and you got the big pad, which I always put under my sleeping pad, my inflatable sleeping pad, for more insulation, and it stopped the sleeping pad from moving around inside the tent. This opens up nice and big. It's like 72 inches long, and I don't know how wide that is, but it's not as wide as the sleeping pad, but it would keep the sleeping pad in place and give you a little more insulation. So I kept that outside, not because I used it during the day, but because it was just a good place to store it. It doesn't fit in the pack very well. Then I also had, I call my tent pole, you guys would call it a trekking pole, but it mounts right here. It goes through a little ring I put down here at the bottom, and it just kept it secure during the day, so I never had to worry about losing it. I didn't use it because I had my steel hiking stick that I call Green Envy, and I wouldn't go without that. I really love that. Anyway, if you needed to get in the pack and you got to grab something quick, maybe you just got to camp, you're wet from sweat, and you want to put on your puffy down jacket real quick, because when you drop the pack, your whole back is wet with sweat, maybe your underarms, and you get cold real quick. There's a breeze. So I have side straps on my Kakwa 55. So you just pop the side straps real quick, and then the roll top comes up. Oh, gotta make sure I'm keeping the camera pointed in the right way. Now in the Sierras, you gotta carry a bear canister, and the best way I found to carry it was up here on top. I did try having it vertical in the middle, but it was hard to pack things around it. So really, just put it on top. You get to camp and you got to pull that out. So let me do that real quick. All right, you got the bear canister out. That doesn't take much time at all. now you're cold and you want to get that puffy jacket. I have everything in the pack liner, so you got to open the pack liner and grab the puffy, and you can put that on and you instantly get warm. Doesn't take long. It may not be that cold out, but like I said, you're wet with sweat and there's a breeze. It's probably, you know, 6:30 at night. It's starting to get, the sun's starting to get low, and it's a little chilly. So you put this thing on right away. It's readily available, second thing out of the pack. Now, if you needed something else, the best way to find stuff is to be organized. So I was very organized by using packing cubes, and all the packing cubes go in vertical, so whatever you do need you can grab without taking everything out of the pack. So if I needed another clothing item, I knew that this right here is my clothing packing cube. You can pull it out and very quickly open it and get what you need. So I'll try and do that with one hand. You got a zipper. We're going to open that now, so hold on. And here is the sun hoodie that I wore while backpacking during the day, but I just stuffed it in there because in town I wear my nice hoodie, which is a fleece hoodie, and that way this stinky thing wasn't on my body and everyone didn't have to smell me. So that's why that ended up in here. But this normally would be on during the day, keep me protected from the sun. It's a full front zip, which made it really nice when it got hot, which it does a lot when you're putting in a lot of miles and a lot of effort. So I could unzip the front and really stayed a lot cooler that way. And you know, everything else in here is something you might need. Your bug net for your head, that'd be easy to get real quick. I have if there were mosquitoes everywhere, that would go on over my head. I would put these dance pants on real quick. Mosquitoes couldn't get to my legs when I was wearing these, so that was cool. I also have my Levy rain jacket right here that could also keep mosquitoes off of your upper body. And it didn't rain on me at all, but I had this in case it did rain. Then I would have my extra socks, and at night sometimes it got a little chilly and I would wear my beanie on my head when I slept just to keep me a little bit warmer. But if you needed anything out of the clothes, you can see clothing bag, you can see how quick it would be to grab. Other things you might need real quick, the white one is my ditty bag. You could pull that out real quick if you only needed that. Maybe when I first get to camp, I like to take my pills. I have some pills for my heart rate. It slows down my heart rate, which helps with the essential tremors. So as soon as I would get to camp, I would pull that out. I got my pills in there, and I would take my pills first thing and just try to help get my heart rate to slow down, because I was done with the physical exertion for the day. And when you do a marathon all day, every day, it's kind of hard to get the heart rate, your body to realize that it can relax now. So that would be something I would grab real quick. And then if it got really cold, I have these fleece lined pants. I could grab them real quick and put them on. So by having everything vertical, you can see, you can just grab what you need without unpacking a whole bunch of stuff. But we're pretending right now that we're at camp, taking all that out. The tent is right here. You pull your tent out, you set up the tent, and once I set up the tent, I could put all my packing cubes in the tent. Then I could lay out my thin light pad. And then I would need my sleeping system. So in here is the air pad and the air pillow. So that is really all my stuff. And once, like I said, the tent was set up, all of these packing cubes would go in the tent. And then you would fill up your air mattress and get the sleeping bag, which is the last thing in here. You pull out the sleeping bag and you lay that out on top of your sleeping pad so it could start expanding, get to the full loft so you would have all the warmth that it can provide. And of course you got water bottles on the sides. I would take the trekking pole off to help set up the tent, find a rock and pound in all the stakes. The tent would be all set up. Everything else is out of there. There's nothing else in the pack. I did have a fanny pack that I carried, and in here I kept all my electronics, and it had a nice pouch right here in front that I would slip the phone in and out, taking pictures and videos, and it was just an easy in and out right in my stomach area, very well protected. There are times on the trail where your feet come out from under you and you slam down on your ass, and had the phone been in my back pocket, it might have got broken. So this was a much safer place to keep it. In there I also got my battery pack and headlamp, the air pump to fill up the air mattress, charge cords, the charging brick. Everything's in there for electronics. So it's nice that you have things organized and they're in different categories with different color bags, so you can quickly identify which bag is which and get what you need without a whole lot of fuss and searching and where did I put that. So there it is. That's all you get, and I was quite comfortable. So that's how you should pack. The sleeping bag always goes in the bottom because all the weight on top of it can compress it even more, and it's really one of the last things that you need. You would never need to grab it during the day, so being on the bottom was not a problem. The food on top was sort of a hassle, but in the Sierras you got to have this big can, and that's the only place it fit. Normally in the desert I had a food bag, and it would go on top of the sleeping bag, be the second thing I'd put in the pack, and then all the packing cubes on top of that. So there you go. If you want to be organized, you want to be able to find stuff quickly and not waste a bunch of time on the trail, this is how you should pack.